Hi friends, I've been playing Freeciv for more than 10 years now, and maybe I can convince you to give it a try as well. I love Freeciv because you can play it under Linux and Windows, you can play it with friends, you can play it alone, and you can dive in very deeply. It is especially something for people who are not only interested in IT, but also in history. So here it is, and what I want you to show you today is how to start a scenario game. And I want to start with Europe in the year 1900, and let's see if I can capture Paris as a German. Okay, we all know the history of Europe in 1900. In Germany, Wilhelm II governed. So I say I will take Wilhelm, and then I can immediately start the game. And here I see it. So here we see the bigger map. Here we have England, we have Germany, we have Netherlands, and we have France. The map is a bit diagonal. So if you want to look what is north, you would look there. And so here we have England with London, a city of 35. We have Hamburg with a population of 11. Berlin with a population of 19, and Paris with a population of 23. What's prompting us here, what's prompting our attention here is this here. It is a military unit, and if we look here, we find out it is a cavalry. It has 2 moves left. It is an attack unit. If you don't believe me that it is an attack unit, you could go to help units, and then units, and then cavalry. There you would see it has an attack strength of 8 and a defense strength of 3. So make sure it never gets attacked. For example, you could put a strong defense unit onto the same square where the artillery is. So the strong defense unit would then do the defenses against attackers. The good thing about cavalry is that it has 2 move points. So it can move 2 places. Let me show you. We can directly go to Paris and need 0 move points. Why that? Because someone has built a railroad here. In order to build a railroad, you have to do certain inventions. And that is what we look at soon. But first, let's have a look at the nations that we have here. As of today, we are Wilhelm II, and we are monarchy, and the only republic in Europe is France. Okay, sorry, there are other republics, or at least one republic as well. And we see we have here a despotism states form, which means they have less income. So with a monarchy, you are better set up to do a war. With a republic or democracy in Freeciv, you make more money in peace times. So that means you get more gold coins and you get also more light bulbs. Light bulbs help you advance your research. We should soon switch to republic because then we will make more money. And what we have right now regarding money is a catastrophe. We have a treasury of 3,520 gold, but we lose 1,130 gold coins every turn. This is probably because our cities need maintenance funds and so on. I will come to that later. So this is the nation overview. Note that all have ceasefire or alliance, at least no war here. Okay. Next thing we want to look at is cities. So here we have the cities. Let's sort them by size. Berlin is the biggest. Then Hamburg is coming. Munich. This is about the size of these cities around 1900. Okay. I mean, the relations are about the size, especially if you remember that this is a logarithmical scale. So let's have a look at Berlin first and compare the amount of inhabitants with Hamburg. So if we go to Hamburg, we see here 660,000 citizens, which is about right. In Berlin, we see 1,900 citizens. That's more than double. However, if we look at the sticker here, then we see Berlin has 19, Hamburg has 11. That is not double the size regarding Berlin. So we have a logarithmical scale here, which means that the city of London with a population of 35 is truly amazing. Okay, but apart from this, let's go back to the cities report. And now let's add a column. So let's sort by size first. And here we now have Berlin. And it is important to understand that they grow with a speed of 4 corns per turn. So that means they only need 95 more turns and will become a size 20 city. The economy, they make a loss of 20 gold coins per turn. Sorry, they have to... sorry, that is luxury, gold luxury science. Okay, gold luxury science. So they make a loss of 20 gold coins every turn. They contribute 12 points to the well-being of the society, and they contribute 31 points to the research advantage. Okay, let's have a look at research. Here you see that, for example, if you want to invent the republic, then you need 2 things: literacy and code of laws. So you first have to invent code of laws before you can invent the republic, and you first have to invent literacy before you can invent the republic. However, with republic, you can later on invent banking. This is how you read this. So what I want to research now is mobile warfare, because that's perfect. With mobile warfare, you can build armors, and this is exactly what we need for the war that I'm going to do here. And the goal is flight. So once mobile warfare is completed, they will automatically start researching flight. Let's have a look at the messages. It has now said, okay, it has understood, okay, technology goal is flight. So let's go back here and start our little war. I typed the key C, like center, and I'm again with the cavalry in Metz. And thanks to the railway network, I can directly attack Paris. Let's do this. And now it tells me you must declare war on Émile Loubet first. Try the nations report. So nations report again. It is here, but you can also reach it with the key F3. So I go to the French guy and I say diplomacy, cancel treaty. And then it says, do you really declare war on the French? I say yes. And it says the diplomatic state between the Germans and the French is now war. So here I am in front of Paris and I attack it. We don't have much intelligence on the French, so the probability of success of this attack is greater than 0 and smaller than 100%. Okay, great. So this has now worked. The unit has not vanished. You can still see it here in front of Paris. It has lost a bit of its strength. It's no longer 100%. It's only about 30%. And here we have our next soldier. This is a rifleman. Riflemen are rather defense units. So I will say F like fortify. And here in Strasbourg, we have another cannon standing. It is artillery. Artillery is even stronger than cavalry. However, it can only move 1 point per turn, except if there's railway. So let's use this to attack Paris. There's another cavalry, also throw it on Paris. Another artillery, throw it on Paris. And here again in Aachen we have riflemen. And what I want to say to Aachen is, hey, in the future, please do not produce more riflemen. We really will need artillery. Please produce artillery. It will take 9 turns because our city is making a production surplus of 6 points. And if you divide the needed 50 points for the production of artillery by 6, you come out by 9. Probably right. So here in Aachen, I say again F like fortify. The next unit shall also fortify. Let's look at Düsseldorf. Düsseldorf is a city which is smaller than 8 people, so it does not need an aqueduct. And as we have seen, we are losing 1,130 gold points every turn. And the upkeep of an aqueduct, what does this cost? I don't know, but I sell it now. And then I close it and find out how much it costs. So city improvements, aqueduct, upkeep, it costs you 2 gold coins every turn to just upkeep the aqueduct. You need to have construction invented to build it at all. And the only sense is to allow a city to grow larger than size of 8. So if Düsseldorf is only 6 people, we don't really need this, and we can save these 2 gold coins per turn. So here's the next cavalry, and I'm again going for Paris. Again saying attack. In Duisburg, we also have a cavalry, also an aqueduct, which we sell. We also tell them, hey, in the future, please create a spy. A spy is very useful to steal technology from other nations and also to incite revolutions. And here's the next cavalry. I'm going on to Paris. We see Paris is now only 19 in size. So it decreases more and more because of the cannonballs that are flying around. And so population decreases when the units lose a turn during an attack of an enemy state to your city. So a bank increases the amount of gold that you make. So if you make 2 gold coins with a bank and a marketplace, you suddenly make, I believe, 4 gold coins. On the other hand, for the upkeep of a bank, you have to pay 2 gold coins. So it does not work out for cities that have a population of only 4. So I will sell this bank. I try to. Okay, in this city, I already have sold the aqueduct, and I can only sell 1 building per. I can only sell 1 building per turn. So here I go, and now I'm in Düsseldorf again. Let's see Düsseldorf. We also have already sold something, and that was the aqueduct. Let's say here the artillery, activate unit and close dialogue. As I said, it's an excellent attack unit. So let's go on to Paris. Paris has now been reduced to size of 18. And remember that is logarithmical scale. Go to the next cavalry, attack Paris again. And here in Strasbourg, we say, okay, sell the aqueduct. Doesn't work, okay. And build spies in the future, okay? So, and for this guy, we say F like fortify. In Mannheim, oh, I have lived in Mannheim. What a beautiful city. They have artillery there, I didn't know that. So let's go on to Paris. Again, a win. And the next thing that I wanted to discuss was that I also want to build a world wonder. Yeah? If I will now pick a city which is big, so it has a high production, and it is more or less in the center of Germany, so most probably it will not be attacked by a foreign nation. And I would say that Berlin is a relatively good city to build the next world wonder. What do we want to build? We want to build women's suffrage, because with women's suffrage, we can later on become a republic and make war at the same time. Because if you are a republic and make war, then you have the problem that your people become incontent and create revolutions in your cities. So with women's suffrage, you send the women to war just like you do with the men, and then they are not at home to make a revolution, something like that. So always good to have women's suffrage if you are a democracy and want to do a war. So here we have more than 8 people in Berlin, so the aqueduct is really paying off. A cathedral is there to keep people happy. And I would say let's leave it like this. Where are we? I type C again. Okay, maybe you want to know more about the women's suffrage wonder of the world. So you go to help, wonders of the world, women's suffrage. And there you see, it costs you 600 points to build it. You need to have industrialization invented before you can build it, and it will never become obsolete. So it neutralizes the unhappiness caused by a single military unit per city. So that means you have one unit, like an armor or whatever, that you can move outside of the city for aggressive wars without the population becoming incontent. So we are in Düsseldorf here, and I would say let's fortify that unit again. Here we have another cool. Oh, by the way, I can move the display by clicking on the right mouse key, not on the left mouse key. That's a bit confusing for beginners, but let's attack Paris first. Now it's a 15th city, and we have the next artillery who wants to attack. It's a 14th city, and we have here in Köln another artillery, which I will use to attack Paris again. And let's rewrite history. First World War starts at 1900, and the first city to be attacked is Paris, because there's no defense on the East French border. Who had known this? So we go to Paris again, and the next cavalry unit. Paris is a bit stubborn because it's so big and they put so much defense into it. However, they are already defending themselves with cannons, which are bad defenders. Good attack units, bad defenders. So if they defend themselves with cannons, we know we have exhausted the good defense units. So that is a good thing for us. In Essen, we fortify that unit. In Münster, we activate the other unit and send it to Paris again. And in Mannheim, do we have anything left here? Yes, we have a cavalry unit left, which we also send to Paris. And the other we fortify with F. In Mannheim, we check that riflemen shall not be built, but rather artillery. Then in Frankfurt, we have another cannon even. So let's move this to Paris, as it's a prime attack unit, as I said. Here we have the next cavalry, also attack Paris. They are now defending themselves with cavalry, and this cavalry from us survived and can now do the second move. So we can now do a second attack on Paris with the same unit, which is great. And now you see something. You see that star here? That means there's defense unit. There are defense units in the city. So in Paris, there is no more defense unit. And here we have now a rifleman, and I could send this to Paris to conquer the city. It would not matter that riflemen are not good attack units, because there is nothing to defend in Paris. But this one rifleman I will keep here, because it's the last man standing, the last man present in Freiburg. I tell Freiburg, hey, in the future, please produce artillery. I try to sell the aqueduct, but it doesn't work. And I fortify that guy. And in Stuttgart, I go and I don't use a good attacking unit, because I can attack Paris now with any unit because there's no more defense. So here I have a rifleman which I will throw into Paris. And now it asks me, shall I conquer the city? And the probability of success is 100%. That's an easy choice. We are in Paris now, and we sell the aqueduct, because we made Paris so small that it does not need anymore any aqueduct. And for their own defense against the French, they shall now create a rifleman. And yeah, we have captured our first city in the First World War that started 1900. So this is how you can play Freeciv, and I hope you liked my little explanations. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Many thanks for being with me.